everyone, and welcome back to Blue Otter League here tonight. I am Camcom, joined by the wonderful TDS cast. We've got Acclivity on the blue side taking on MSU Blåhaj, also known as the Sharky team on the red side. How are you doing tonight, TDS?
The Sharkies. Interesting name, but yeah, I'm excited. Battle of potentially last place. Yeah, so whoever wins today will no longer be 0-2. You should be really excited for this because I don't know who's going to win. If I'm honest, I don't know who I'm going to support, but hey, it should be an interesting match.
All right, and also Acclivity is using, I believe, two ESUPs is what's going on right now.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on. So they do not. What I do understand is they do not have the first three bans. So we will only have three bans in the first banning phase, which usually means that a lot of meta picks make it through the banning phase.
Yeah, you can essentially pretty much dictate what you want to take away from your opponent, and your opponent can just essentially cry because they don't have an option. But the good thing is that since a lot of meta picks will be open, you can kind of get advantages if you can smartly pick. And Acclivity has first pick, so I feel like they should get something good. Hopefully, they're able to maneuver around it. But I feel like the much more pressuring problem is going to be the fact that they are going to play with ESOPs, which means that
Yeah.
some of the dynamics in the team, the coordination, some plays like that may get affected in the overall playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely. The teamwork, coordination, comms are much different when you are playing
Yep.
with one person. Double that for two people. If either one of those people were your main shot caller, then now you are down a whole lot of important information that otherwise would have probably been very helpful. Now, both of these teams are currently winless in terms of series score. MSU does have one single game win, game one of the season against Lotus.
Yep, I remember that. It was good times. It
Yeah.
was MSU Blåhaj getting their Aurelion Soul on mid lane and carrying through that pick, which I was completely down on. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that it was going to crash and fail, but MSU Blåhaj played really well around it, and Verd getting a lot of value out of the champion. I feel like really well with them, and the fact that they are not getting banned away thanks to the three first bans not being applicable for Acclivity this time around. It's going to actually maybe benefit much more MSU if they are able to get it once again and maybe play around it. But two things that we know, they get the jinx from the side of Acclivity, the AD carry that I consider the best AD carry in the game right now. So quite a lot of firepower already, and gets answered by the Jhin, which I think can give you a lot of lane control, lane manipulation, and allow for your jungler to have a lot of impact early on in the map in the bot side.
Yeah, Jin definitely much more of a early to maybe a little bit of mid game type AD
Yeah.
carry, whereas Jinx is much more mid to late. So they have different power points throughout the laning phase. Here is Karma will be locked in for R2, so we still have those junglers available. And also, still Aurelion Soul. Now, I don't think Aurelion Soul is good enough to be a complete blind pick. I think
Yeah.
if MSU does want to pick it, they will have to pick it on R3 here before the second round banning phases, because then Acclivity do get their bans back. They'll get 2 out of their 5 bans, and they're going to get it after the third pick from MSU.
Yep, it's more than likely coming later on. The sack pick here being a little bit of a surprise, especially with essentially every meta jungler open already. I was expecting maybe to see before the support pick, then after that the jungle pick, but you can still go for that order, jungle into support. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing an Nautilus or a Leona, much more so because you do want someone to be a follow-up engage, especially in bot lane to just lock down the squishes that we see in the Jhin and the Karma. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Nautilus, but I would like to see an enchanter potentially. No, it's not. I knew
Yeah.
it had to be. But yeah, it just makes sense with the engage potential, and you have good follow up both with the sack and the Nautilus to just engage in and get a lot of value, especially against champions that are squishy, but also with low mobility. Oh, okay. It was immediate. There was no thought process behind it. So blind evidence all. It worked out last time. I'm not sure if it's going to work out once again, but it worked out. So maybe they are able to play once again. And funnily enough, if I'm not wrong, Red Soul was picked as well with a Jhin in that composition where they won.
Yes.
So trying to get their advantage, the similar advantages that they had in the previous game, and try and make them work out. And that one of the things that I think Red Soul may be really valuable in this game, not only for the roaming potential and the immense Hengi damage that he will bring with himself. It's the fact that his damage is actually a lot of the distance with the W, with the I don't remember the name, but the stars that are rotating around him. So if he's able to position himself correctly, he can actually deal quite a lot of damage without you expecting the damage to come. Even if you know that he's there, the damage just simply appears from out of nowhere sometimes because you are not always paying attention to those balls
Yeah,
or
so
spheres.
Aurelion
Yep.
Sol has been banned in every single game against MSU ever since their very first game where they were able to
Yep.
win with the champion. And like you said, it was an Aurelion Sol Jin Nautilus bot lane when they did have it. So far, the only different champion between those three being Karma. I actually like Karma a lot better paired with the Jin Aurelion Sol than a Nautilus paired with them. Kane locked in as their not blind. I was about to say blind jungle, not blind jungle. It is picked
Yeah.
into that Zac, the jungle that they ran last time with the Aurelion Soul was a Poppy with an Aatrox in the top lane. So Kane, a very different type of jungler there to Poppy. Nowhere near a tank, but can absolutely play very well into a Jinx Zac.
Yep, and you bring up the puppy, and I feel like it would be a marvelous champion to close out the draft. But just immediately looking at the King is not going to have the same early game impact as the Sack because Sack has so many gank patterns that not a lot of junglers can imitate. So it's going to be hard for him to replicate that. But he's going to try and get towards lanes, try and get down towards certain champions, and it's going to be really important to see which lanes does he focus. Because if he goes mid lane, it means that he's going for the or mid lane and bot lane, he's going for the assassin more than likely because he's going to get those orbs towards his form. If he is going towards top lane or focusing towards fighting the sack as well, then he's opting into the Red King, which I think can define a lot of what MSU wants to play around. And just as I said, the Poppy, which I would love to see on MSU, it gets counterpicked by Acclivity. It works out really well for them against the Kane. Against the Renaissance a little bit as well because of the E, but the value of the Poppy is not going to be that high compared to what MSU could have gotten because essentially everyone apart from Jinx has a dash on the side of Acclivity. So the Poppy would have been marbles. But Mordekaiser getting picked, and it's great for the 1v1 and great to
Yeah.
stop sack ganks coming through. But in a team fight scenario, I feel like the Mordekaiser may be much more counterintuitive than useful in forcing fights, which I think it's something that MSU may get punished with.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that MSU have a team fighting comp here. Really, none of these
Yeah.
champions, except maybe Aurelion Sol, can team fight. I don't even know where in a team comp Aurelion Sol really fits into. I think he's more.
With the huge sphere from the side, that's about it. That's
Well, no,
about
but
what you
like
see
in a
from
team
Aurelion
comp,
Sol.
like is he supposed to be an engage? Is he supposed to be a disengage? I guess he is probably much better as a disengage because Zolt does quite literally push people away. That doesn't seem like that great of an engage to me. Very similar to
So
that of an Azir ultimate, but here for MSU, I think their win condition is in terms of which champions they have picked here would definitely be through the mid lane and probably picks. I think their pick plus split push potential here with this team comp is very strong. I just am worried about their team fights because their team fighting with
yeah,
these five champions is very weak compared to
yep,
Acclivity.
100%. Compared to the other side, you have a hyper carry Jinx, a huge front line, and an Ari that works kind of how a LeBlanc works in the sense that she's not necessarily going to be the team fight mage in Arena, but she will create a chaos that you can really kind of cover around, which is going to be hard to play around. On the side of MSU, based on what I remember with the Aurelion Sol pick, he was kind of the main engager, playing like really far away from the side. He waits till the opponents either started the objective or they are walking too far forward, engages with the E into Comet combo so that the Comet is a huge Comet they cannot escape, and then when everyone is stunned, you kind of follow up with everything. It was thanks as well to the fact that the Poppy was there, so it didn't allow anyone to run away, and that meant that the CC could come much more easily. But this time around, it's going to be even harder to execute because Aurelion Sol, even though he can engage, he's not an engager like you pointed out. And then you have the Mordekaiser that his value truly shines in 1v2s or 1v3 scenarios where he can lock someone out of position and he can force a 1v1. So I would like them to try and play much more through the side lane, use Aurelion Sol's mobility, go for that part of the map, and make the most out of the power from the Mordekaiser. Because if it's through a straight 5v5, I just simply don't see MSU winning. Although that was what I said last time and they won. So maybe.
I have full faith in the Aurelion Soul here for Bird on MSU. Now, for anyone joining the stream late, Acclivity did lose their first four bans because they are playing with two E subs. I do believe that it is two bans lost per E sub, so With 4 bans, they only get 1 ban. I thought it was only 3 bans, but no, it is actually 4 bans.
It's even harsher.
It is. But to be fair, playing with 2 E-subs should definitely be very harsh. I think that is probably the
Yep.
max. If you're playing with 3 E-subs, you're playing with an entirely different team on the day of at that point. But
Yep, it's going to affect quite a lot. So hopefully it doesn't seem that bad. And they pick a combo at least that I feel it's not going to be that hard to
yeah,
execute. So
very easy
it's
to
going
execute.
to make things a little bit more doable.
And with that, heading into Spectator Lane now, we will be going to a short break just for a couple minutes as we load onto Summoner's Rift. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back now on to Summoner's Rift for our game one here today on the best of three Acclivity on the blue side, taking on MSU Blue on the red side. And once again, I'm Cam Kama, joined by TDS here tonight.
Wait, that works like that?
Beautiful.
Okay, that would have been so amazing if someone was on that on mid lane. I kind of feel bad that it didn't work out because that is something I didn't even know happened. But anyways, both teams level 1. No one is going to find anything. They're just going to find nothing, essentially. Maybe a couple of words here and there, but that's it. Nothing much gained from either side.
Yeah, just having a good time. I can't even call it a 5 point for both teams. Neither team even 5 pointed. MSU with the red buff ward even onto Acclivity's buff there. And speaking of junglers, even we can talk about the players playing for Acclivity here tonight. All right. Big Cat is one of their substitutes, their top laner, and then Vizzy is one of their E-subs, that being their support now. Now their regular support, Trading Flash, is also their captain, is swapping to jungle here today. So that is their lineup that they're bringing into this series. And all 5 members from the side of MSU, I do believe, are the main starters on roll as well.
Um, Pretty sure they are. I kind of remember everyone except for maybe the jungle, but yeah, they feel like it feels like they are there, and it's going to be interesting watching how these players lane swapping and coming in are going to perform, especially in positions that I feel MSU are not that bad and have been able to get some advantages sometimes, especially particularly top lane. I feel like Boyd has been a good enough player for MSU in a lot of those games, and I feel like going into a matchup against him, especially with the ignite from the Poppy, is going to be quite interesting. Seeing if she can get a solo kill at any point or not. Oh, speaking of the devil,
Yeah, speaking of that Ignite there, Big Pack does pop that level 2 before Void, so gets a nice favorable trade onto him with just that extra ability that he is able to use. And we can talk about these summoner spells a little bit here. We have 3 Ignites, 0 teleports for Acclivity, and you have 1 teleport and 1 ghost for Bird on the side of MSU. And of course, we can't not talk about it. Unfortunately, Riot doesn't like to show portraits in the right order anymore, so they are kind of they decide where they go. They might float back. We don't know.
maybe. Yeah, I've come to the realization that Riot will find a way to make the spectator be buggy in some way, so that we just have to be stronger and fight against more things than just the normal spectator. I feel like that's going to be the play from now on.
Both
Oh
the
wait, Zach.
junglers hovering down here bot side. Trading
Ooh.
Flash is going in with that jump. Excellent double knock up on the bot lane members of MSU. Sasha's running the complete wrong way. Missing Link trying to chase him down without
She
any
failed.
mana on the
What?
Jinx. Is not going to be able to secure the kill. Meanwhile, Trading Flash is trying to flash out, and he is not going to
Oh,
be
they
able
got
to
it.
live for long enough. Kane is the one picking up the first blood, and we've got all the mid laners roaming down here as well. A Bird has level 3 on the Aurelion Soul. Easiest champion to roam down from the mid lane. Missing Link still not having mana on the Jinx.
How is still such
Will
alive?
fall to a Bird. A Bird going to flash through. Unfortunately, he's just not allowed to survive here. Busy living on 1 HP. Nobody has any mana left. Nobody can continue this trade, and it is a completely even 2 for 2 across the board.
Whoever said that without teleport there would be less fiestas in bot lane is a liar. Because 4 against 4 at 4 minutes in the game
Yes.
is not something that should happen without teleport. It's still great level 2 fight. Yeah, it should be level 2. Level 2 fight down there, and really nicely played by MSU. They were at a disadvantage because it was the engage from the sack and the Nautilus at the start. The Karma had to run for so long before she died, and she survived for so long. I don't know how she was alive, but it meant that the attention from the side of Acclivity was kind of a spread, and it meant that taking down the Jhin, the Kane, even the Red Soul that came later was going to take much more time, and that's why at the end they fail. Oh, again?
Sausage could be caught out here once again. Trading flashes with
Okay,
a
he's dead
second
now.
gank in the bot lane. Looks like this one not going to be nearly as fiesta as the first one. Just 1 clean kill in and out now for Acclivity, and a Bird with a lot of trading here in the mid lane onto false degenerate, not having any mana, so he has a little bit of a harder time trading back.
Yeah, not gaining much after that trade. It's just a trade of damage for damage, not much. but showcasing a little bit of what potentially we could see a little bit more from the Ari, especially when she gets level 6, because with Ignite, she's going to get a lot of threaten, being able to threaten much more the arena. So, oh wait, Void,
Boyd
Ignite
could
down.
just be caught
He's
out
dead.
here. He is just dead with the Ignite from Big Cat. I don't know what was happening in the top lane, which we didn't get to see the whole play up there,
Ignite
but
did.
Ignite versus TP, playing it right. Absolutely good job for Big Cat up there.
Yeah, and I think important as well the fact that even with teleport, Void didn't back. So he was with a disadvantage on items against the Poppy, and as soon as the Poppy came in, she just ran into the Mordekaiser. He didn't even flash away. Ends up paying the price for his greed and dying in a 1v1 against the Poppy. Not the most ideal of situations. It's not going to be the worst because I feel like after you get level 6, you're essentially going to be able to force this Poppy into such a bad spot that it's not going to matter, especially with the extra resistances. But it's not great to lose the 1v1 either because it could have mean an even a higher difference in your favor that you're simply not taking advantage of.
Meanwhile, down here in the bot lane, we have had a very, I don't want to call it fiesta, but maybe explosive, volatile, one of these kinds of words there would be very descriptive of how this bot lane has been going. So much fighting. Nobody has any summoner spells right now, except for Vizzy. He has his Ignite back up now from the very first level 2 fight. Both these mid laners have just popped level 6, so we could see a potential solo kill here in the mid lane, but I'm not going to put any money on it. A bird already has full completed Merc Treads, so it is going to be quite hard to kill him this early on.
Yeah, having that good magic resistance against the Ari going to be nice, even with the Ignite and the level 6 hit by the Ari. It's still not easy to get solo kills, especially on champions that have good enough health and can push away the Ari with the ultimate. So it's still a test for the Ari to try and get it done. Oh, the stun coming in.
Boy, hovering around that mid lane there, level 7, 2 falses, level 6. So if you did want to look for a gank, that would have absolutely been a good time to do it with his own little mini level lead. Once again, down here in the bot lane, though, we've got both junglers hovering. Kayn has level 6, Trading Flashes only has level 5, so it is, once again, a very excellent small window of time if he wants to try and make something happen.
Okay, so round 2. Let's get a fight. Let's see who wins this time around. I feel like if I'm going to go for someone, I think that the Zac having the Bammy as well as if they initiate onto the correct target, they can probably take the fight. Especially because Jin is not that strong either at this point, and the King still doesn't have his form, which I'm kind of curious to know how far away he is from his form. Oh wait,
Fighting up on the top side once again. I can check the Kayn form here in a second. But first, we've got a fight down here in the bot lane.
Oh.
2 fights apparently going on both sides of the map. Kayn still does have level 6 up over all 4 members here on the bot lane. Doesn't look like anything will come out of his gank, so I'm going to check his form real quick. Nope, it's not showing me. All right, never mind.
Okay, so based on assumptions, he hit quite a lot onto the Zac and onto the Nautilus, so I'm guessing he's not close to Assassin, but Red Cane. Oh wait,
Jungle 1v1 here. A bird does have first roam if he wants to use a false. Will burn that ultimate
I think
though.
he's dead.
Lots
No?
of damage onto a bird. He does not have a very easy way to run away, but popping that ghost will actually be able to survive it. Jinx Rocket will not find any targets, and a bird did actually have to burn flash there as well. I
Yeah.
think he flashed away from the Jinx Rocket, so he was able to live just by a sliver of HP, and both summoner spells now down.
Yeah, but that was the risk that you kind of fall into place when you're trying to move around against the area. If you get charmed once, you have to kind of run away as fast as you can because the damage will come down. Ari used ultimate, ignite, and tried to, and almost hit anything. It was close. So luckily for the Radiant Soul, it didn't matter the match. Oh wait,
Oh no.
how does that work?
I don't think Void is going
Oh.
to be fighting a solo kill up here on the top side anytime soon. You have to burn that Poppy ultimate before you take her to the Death Realm, or else, like you can see right there, she can just burn all of the time from the Death Ultimate with her own. And 1v1 down here between the two AD carries. Trombone just face checking, running straight
Oh, but he
into
failed
Missing
everything.
Links. Missing Link has way more DPS though than a Jinx, and both are even just Missing Link
But
is
what
the
about
only
now?
one burning his flash. I don't know why directed camera's not showing us this. Missing Link with the heal
Oh,
will be able to survive just about with the 1v1. He did have to burn both summoner spells. Trombone did not. And directed camera is just absolutely trolling us today. Vizzy did somehow find the kill back onto him.
yeah, coming from behind, he a hex splash over the wall and then goes in with the ultimate to kill the Jhin. Jhin had to hit that last shot because if he hits that, it's a kill onto the
Yeah.
Jinx even with a heal. But the Jinx played that really well, was able to survive for so long, was able to burn even the heal from the Jhin, which means that then the kill from the Nados was going to be much more easy to get. Also important to note that kill was crucial for the Jhin to get because right now he's not only behind in terms of kills, he is behind by almost 20 CS. So it's actually important that he's tries to come back because the Jinx that should be the late game carry is farther ahead than that of the Jhin right now.
Yeah, and with that, by some miracle, MSU is the one able to pick up the first or second dragon even of this game. A bird could
Ooh,
be caught
ooh,
out here in the mid
ooh.
lane. He has Sausage and Kane roaming up here from the bot side jungle. Make that a 3v3 here in the mid lane once again. False trying to jump
Oh,
over the wall.
shit.
Will not be able to make it out with his life. Sausage picked up that kill onto him. Now Vissy trying to run away, does not have his ultimate available. Unfortunately, Bird Stun will not find its target onto Vissy, but without a flash, without an ult, without a hook to get out his shutdown, 150 will fall to Kane.
Yeah, getting 2 kills in that fight, really nicely done. Kane getting ahead as well. And it seems that if you are baited into trying to kill a bird, you're going to pay the price. A bird survived for so long, was able to push away, and it's something that you talk about how valuable that ultimate to push away champions was going to be, and it's shown right there in that fight. You push away the stack that engaged onto you, then you can continue fighting against the Ari, the stacking damage from the orbs of the Aurelian Soul. You get the stun value, and as long as he survives, his consistent damage is simply superior to that of the Ari. Even if Ari has assassin potential, she does not have enough consistent damage to fight against that of the Kane and the Aurelian Soul.
Yeah, it is all in where your damage is and whether it is burst
Mhm.
or DPS, and that has so far been the decider of every single one of these. I don't want to call them team fights, but I guess mini fights, 3v3s,
Skirmish?
4v4s. Yeah, skirmishes would be the right word for them so far. 5 to 4, 9 kills on the board at just before 13 minutes in this game. We're probably going to see one or two more
Oh!
before plates fall. Very nice dodge there by Bird, playing the Aurelian Soul just as he is supposed to. As I did check out his Aurelian Soul stats between loading screen and the game, he did not or has not played a whole lot of Aurelian Soul this season quite yet, but he did have, I believe, 50 games on Aurelian Soul solo queue last season and 150 in the season before. So that is where all of his Aurelian Soul practice has been coming from. He is not just all of a sudden an Aurelian Soul god.
Yeah, no, he had to play it before. It's not a champion that you can master on
Yeah.
one day or on 2 weeks. You have to actually play this champion because it's so nuanced, it's so niche that if you actually don't know how to play around it, you can just get punished. And I feel like after the previous game, it was really shown that he could certainly play the champion. But I feel that that's also why we haven't seen it much in other places. Oh,
1v1 up here in the top lane. Once again, Big Cat popping that Ignite onto Void. And Void is not going to make it out of his own death realm. Instead, being the one to die himself. And Sausage coming up here to try and help out his top laner. Unfortunately, he's almost about to fall. Big
Is
Cat
that-
now looking for the dive. Flash already burned by Sausage. Mantra W. Not enough healing. Ignite pop there onto Big Cat. Looks like he will just give that kill almost over to Sausage, but Kane burns his flash and is able to find not quite the shutdown, but a kill onto Big Cat.
yeah, but Big Cat taking 2 away for himself, being able to shut down, or not shut down, but kill the Mordekaiser once again. And Mordekaiser has simply not find the avenues that he's looking to try and fight. He used the ultimate there to lock down the puppy for not escaping, but it was actually him getting locked up and he could not escape. He ended up paying the price for using his ultimate wrongly, and that means that now the Poppy is in such a nice advantage. She also went for the Sunder, which means that she's not going to be as easy to kill. And Mordekaiser still needs the items. He's yet to complete the Rift Maker. He needs to get another item to try and be much more forceful in those fights. And it's simply not yet that point for the side of MSU.
Meanwhile, down there in the bot lane, Missing Link did take the full first
Oh.
outer tower for themselves without even the help of the Rift Child. As you see, the first Rift Child is now being dropped here in the mid lane. Will take the first outer tower in the favor of MSU, but not first tower on the map, so they don't get any extra bonus gold. Missing Link got 4 out of the 5 plates on that first tower in the bot lane. The final plate did fall right before he was able to take it, so that is a little bit unfortunate, but a little bit of extra gold in his pocket still is very helpful and goes pretty much unpunished because Kane was spending so much time there in the top side and also burned his flash up in the top side, which makes it very easy for Jinx down in the bot lane to be like, hey, that's a nice tasty tower for me to take.
Yeah, getting a little value. Oh, wait.
Engage here found in the bot side jungle. Kane is knocked up. Is he able to make it back out, though? He does have a double knockup going back onto the team of Acclivity, and it looks like a full disengage from both sides. Lots of cooldowns burned. All the ultimates are down on the map here as well. Kane could be caught out. Charm will land on him, smiting that Grump for a little bit of extra HP, but it will not be enough. 300 shutdown will fall to Big Cat now. A nice hook landing onto Bird, using that ultimate for some disengage, but it will not be enough. He burns the passive off of trading flashes on Zac, but it will not find any kills for himself. That was 2 quick and easy pickup kills for Acclivity, and immediately turning that into their second dragon.
Yeah, and we're seeing the value of the Pop. Even though it's not denying the dashes, the ultimate coming in clutch to push away 2 champions, and then the Ari going in with the re-engage or just the charm to make it so hard for the Kane to escape and not be able to do anything. Once again, great fight by Acclivity. They are able to show us the strength of their composition that is actually much more ready for team fighting than that of MSU Blåhaj. And instead, MSU gets shown that they really are going to have a hard time fighting. They need to either find good angles to try and make the rally so valuable, or the engage from the Kane has to be massive. Because if not, they simply seem to lack good enough instances to try and force the fight, especially after what we saw.
Yes, it has been very, very hard so far for MSU to find any fights. Team fights, skirmishes, whatever you want to call them, these fights have simply not been going in the way of MSU. The only member so far with really any large amount of gold on their shoulders is their Kane, as he does have the most kills for their side. And just as I say that might have just been a caster curse for him, he's in the middle of 5 people on Acclivity. All 5 of them are here trying to chase this Kane down within their own jungle. Nice charm. All of the CC finds its way onto his head. Doesn't really take 5 people to kill him. I'm not so sure. But meanwhile, on the rest of the map, MSU are looking to take at least something for their jungler being caught by 5 people.
Hopefully something down in bot lane, because the Mordekaiser is pushing alone down there, but I feel like it's simply not good enough. Like the Kane trying to go for a play when he doesn't have any vision control or any kind of control at all.
Nice start.
Was kind of scared there, but yeah. It's lucky for him that he canceled it, because if not, he probably is dead after that point trying to force that play. Still, mid lane turret collected for the side of Acclivity. They don't even lose the bottom lane turret, which means that they simply have a lot of space in the map to try and do whatever they want. They are not pressured in any sense or in any way to try and protect their own side lanes and their own side of the map. And vision wise, they don't need to to put down their ambition yet, because there's no objective. Baron is down, Dragon is down, turrets have already been obtained, and Ari is pushing topside around the vision that they have already set up. So it's not like you're never at a risk to die as a side of Acclivity at this point in the game.
Yeah, they still have so much safety even in their own jungle. Maybe they don't have a whole lot of vision, but as you saw right there, even if you do have Kane hovering around in your jungle, just collapse on him. Just kill him. Yep. He is still very easy to kill. Only 1.5 items, one of them being that core drinker for the Kane. He has finished his red form, though, so it might start getting a little harder to kill. But without blue, it is much harder for him to roam around, go 20 seconds in his E, and then come back out, and then go right back into the wall. So you will actually be able to catch this Kane. You just have to also be able to kill him through all of his extra healing. As you do see, all 3 outer towers have been taken for Acclivity. Still 2 remaining for MSU to try and take, that being top and the bot. Only the mid has been opened up for them so far.
Yeah, the turrets that are left to be open means that there's standing gold that if you look closely at the gold lead, even though it's in favor of Acclivity, it's not that high, which means that as long as they are able to collect that, they may pretty much just close up the gold difference. Oh, Kane.
Bird could be caught out here. Kane also in the middle of 4 members on his own jungle this time, using the ultimate to try and find one pick onto the Jinx, and he is able to find it with so much healing. Still sitting at full HP. Kane doing such large work here in the backline. Now a double kill brought into the Death Realm. Will not have a triple kill onto Big Cat unless Void dies once again in his own Death Realm before finding the pick. But Big Cat survives for the Death Realm, only to be found by 5 people still alive, still breathing here for MSU. Can he even make it out of this one? He still is very, very tanky here onto the Poppy. Going back in onto a Bird does not quite have enough damage to be one-shotting anyone quite yet here on the Poppy. Dragon up in 40 seconds. Bird is on the table, but I don't think they want to take that one quite yet.
I'm pretty sure they cannot rush it, even if it's up for them to try and go take it. I feel like just resetting here, going for the dragon is going to be much more ideal. And that was a great fight by the side of MSU. They find an angle, and this is what we talked about from the previous fight that they lost, right? They find an angle with the Kane, with the Aurelion Soul, to be able to focus on missing lane. The Jinx was getting so much damage done to her by the Kane, by the Aurelion Soul, and the Jhin was always in such a safe spot. He ultimated from so far away, he never was threatened, and it was so easy for the side of MSU to simply set up for not a team fight, but a fight that they can get the most out of.
Now, next dragon is on the map, currently is in a very large lead for MSU. Trading Flashes, though, playing one of the best stealing champions in the game. You cannot steal if you are dead, though. They have to burn this before the passive is popped, and it will be taken now, tying the Dragons 2-2 in the favor of, or 2-2 for MSU. Jinx once again taken down so low by Kane. 1v4 here, the backline surviving for so long with that red form. Excellent knockups, but he doesn't have enough healing to survive for long enough. Shutdown will fall. Only 152. Big Cat here, false going right back in, trying to find a charm onto Trombone, not able to thread the needle through the stack right there. And in the end, it is a 2-for-1. Only Kane falling for MSU, and he was also able to pick up the dragon right before falling.
It's kind of sad that they don't get more, especially after how the engage kind of happened. But if you're MSU, you take that 100%. You get a dragon, you get 2 kills, you're putting yourselves back into the game. You even put yourself ahead in the game. Oh, wait.
Big Cat walking a little bit too close to the big starry dragon here. Void taking him into the Death Realm, buying a lot of time for Acclivity members to come and try and save their top laner, but it is never going to be enough if you are still in the midst of 4 people. I think Big Cat died twice in that fight. I'm not entirely sure, but he was there twice.
Yeah, I don't think he died twice, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, actually. He's now 5-3, so he's not doing the best with the Poppy after what happened in laning phase. And in comparison, MSU has began answering better all around the map, getting better picks, making the most use out of the Aurelion Soul. And right now, with Aurelion Soul with 2 items, Mordekaiser with 1.5 item because he's almost close to complete. I feel like it's going to be the Demonic Embrace. You're getting a lot of damage potentially for the side lane. And even if the Poppy has wow, I'm blanking on that, the Spirit Visage, it's going to be hard for her to survive that much magic damage, especially without a mythic that is better against magic damage. Oh, Diary
collapse onto False Degenerate up here in the top side once again, and he is just dead. He has the ultimate, didn't burn the flash, only got 1 jump off with the ultimate before falling, and Kane he's just running around this map right now. He finds one, he might fall for it. He finds another, and then he might not fall for that one. And even a 1-for-1 at this point in the game is still worth for him. Trading Flashes, jumping in, but jumping in a little bit too early here. He's jumped out very hard before the rest of his team is able to find their way into this fight. Void TPing in on the front side here as well. Busy, not going to be as fast as the rest of his team. Missing Link, nice stun there, landed by Bird. Easy pickup kill onto the immobile AD carry. Boy trading flash is not going to be as immobile as the Jinx. He is going to be allowed to jump out of that one, but I believe that was 3 kills there picked up for MSU and can
Yeah.
absolutely trade that for a Baron.
Yeah, they can now go and attempt the play. The Saki is not necessarily the healthiest, so he's going to have a hard time trying to get in. I think that his passive is still down, although I'm not 100% sure. So this is going to be risky for him to try and play around that. And the damage to the Baron buff is not that bad. So
Oh
yeah, I
no.
think he's dead
Oh
here.
jeez. He
Yeah.
is just dead to rights, dead to the Gale Force. Big Cat taken into the Death Realm here as well. So he's not going to be available to steal this Baron. Sausage checked
Just
out
kill the
quite
Baron.
a bit by
Kane is
False.
almost dead.
2 HP still remaining on the Baron. Kane forced to use that swipe for healing. A Jinx Rocket almost steals it away, but Kane is in the end able to pick up that kill. Jiddle burn here. 5-member collapse on Big Cat here. Once again, he has been having a rough time after his excellently played laning phase in False. He had a lot of damage there. He had a lot of potential for 1 or 2 picks around the Baron, and in the end,
no, not
he
another one.
is the one that will be picked. Flashing over the wall, but you cannot flash out of a Kane arm, my friend. 5 purple suits now will be worn by the members of MSU.
Oh.
Bird flashing in on the 2 members. He's immediately hooked up,
doesn't
stunned
care.
up, but it doesn't even matter. This is a tank Aurelion Soul in the mid lane. A Bird, he knows how to place it, and he will play it so well. 2 more kills. That was, I believe, 6 or 7 kills now in a row for MSU as well of the Baron.
Yeah, after the Dragon that we saw them secure, they were 11-11. They just got 9 kills in the span of, what, 2-3 minutes? Just like that. And this is the kind of thing that we were worried with Acclivity, right? Even though they played so well the early game, this is what happens when you bring members that haven't played yet with the team. They need to get accustomed to anything that you're doing. Some calls may get just clunky, and you get pressured in a mid-game situation that it's all about team play and setting up for your team. Oh boy.
Oh boy, we've seen this 1v1 a couple times so far. Void once again with that Death Realm onto Big Cat. You'd think at this point Big Cat would buy a QSS, the magical item that negates his entire ultimate, but nope, doesn't matter. With Cat with that Ignite, still has the 1v1 over Void. 40-second death timers now, by the way, here as well for him.
Yeah, it is quite long without teleport because he used it on the topside play, but luckily thanks to that, the team gets the Dragon Soul point achieved by them. It's Hextech Drake, which means that a lot of the damage that now the Aurelion Soul and the Jin will deal, it's going to get connected to every member, so it's going to be much more damage that they are going to get down and allow for their burst to be better. So with the death of Void on the top lane, it means that the Baron buff push is not going to be the best, and they are probably not going to be able to open up the base just yet. But as long as they can keep playing like they were playing with the Aurelion Soul and the Kane, trying to get picks, trying to get someone down out of position and kill them as fast as possible, then it shouldn't be that bad because, like you pointed out, death timers are longer now, which means that they just get 1 kill, you probably are able to try and force much more in the map.
Yeah, and I was very worried about this very high level of execution that the team comp of MSU does hold.
No.
I think Missing Link is just going to be dead here. He used his flash. He doesn't even have heal available. He almost turns it back on a Sausage, but a Bird just has far too much damage, and you're never going to be able to kill him now anymore either. But yeah, I was very worried about this high-level execution comp that MSU has picked for themselves. You cannot team fight if you are even or behind on this team comp, and MSU absolutely never did team fight. They team fought when they were ahead, or they were ahead in a numbers advantage, or now just a huge gold advantage, almost 10,000 in their lead, right? So absolutely, if you are this far ahead, you can do whatever the heck you want. You can team fight. You can get double knocked up by a Zac and then just immediately pop his passive there as well. TP being channeled in by Void. Who will he pop the Death Realm on this time? And it looks like Jack is just going to be dead before he is even able to respawn. Busy is the death target this time. He is taking the Death Realm, and he will actually die this time in the Death Realm. Void getting a little bit of extra tanky stats here. Now flashing in Kane onto the back line. Absolutely one-shots Missing Link from Summoner's Rift. Wasn't even allowed to auto-attack 1 time on the Jinx. There is not enough defensive items in the world for Missing Link anymore against this team comp. Pick comp, you can't fight it. You can't even get near it at this point anymore.
Who needs to team fight when you can pick someone out of position and then you win team fights alone? That's it, right? Like that's kind of the value that I see out of this. They are playing better around their picks. that simply Acclivity hasn't even put themselves into a good spot. And I don't think that this is even just looking into the ESOPs coming in. I feel like this is just simply normal position that you're not respecting. You're pushing a side lane really far forward with a Jinx. You're trying to make plays on a side lane alone as an Ahri against two champions that can move between walls. It's super risky to play like that, and they are not respecting the potential from MSU's composition. I feel like you don't need to play around the side lane. You play around your team fighting, and then it becomes easier to try and win the game. But they played around what MSU wanted, and we've seen the value out of that. MSU just does whatever they needed to do with the Aurelion Sol, with the Kane. They got their advantage back into their hands. They are now ahead in the gold department, in the dragon department, and can just try and do whatever they want. Unless Kane dies here.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Kane finds it at least one, if not two kills. He is against 3 tanks, so it is a little bit harder. He also does not have a whole lot of mana. Bird coming in, and of course, Big Cat, you thought he was a tank. He actually just got one shot by Kane. He is trying to buy some time, trying to regen some mana. Big Cat with a huge stun onto the bot lane members of Acclivity. You thought you could kill the Kane in a 1v4. You were able to earlier in the game. 30 minutes in, you can't kill him at all anymore. It's a triple kill for a Bird, and meanwhile, Boyd is split pushing. He is on your Nexus towers.
So my question now is, do they have bans next game for Aurelion Sol and Kane? That's kind of what I'm trying to think of now, because it just feels like if it's not getting banned away, then you need to have such a better answer for this.
Yeah, this is... If they have the same amount of bans as this game here, they only got one ban, and it was their very last one, then you've got to make a choice. Do you want to... Do you want Kane? Do you want Aurelion Sol? Or do they pick both of them in the first phase of picks and you don't even get a choice? I have no idea.
Yeah, that is kind of the risk that you're running with now. And it's not like we didn't knew about Aurelion Sol being a power pick potential. It's just that at the start it looked kind of difficult for him thanks to what happened on the bot side and all that. But it didn't necessarily meant something that happened to him. It was just everything kind of falling into place. But as soon as it began rotating around the Aurelion Sol, everything began working out well because they get picks. He gets the value out of the spheres and the stuns. You get the value out of the Kane, and the two-man squad between the Kane and the Aurelion Sol pretty much set up the pace for MSU to try and win the game. And they just ride the rest of the team just ride it along to win the game. That's it.
That wasn't something that we talked about a whole lot during draft, but we saw very quickly in the first couple of minutes in the game, right, is the roam potential between Aurelion Sol and Kane is just unmatched by other mid-jungle duos. They can both walk through walls for as long as they really want to. I know that Aurelion Sol can do it for as long as he wants to. I know Kane has a slight cooldown on it, but is it really a cooldown, especially if he takes blues? So, not as big of a deal, but you could be anywhere on the map with one, if not both, of these mid-jungle duos. And usually it's a 2v2 in the mid lane with the mid lane jungle. No, it's a 2v2 anywhere on the map, wherever they want to be.
Yep. So, but they make the best out of that situation. And I feel like that's something that you have to be careful about now, even if you ban those two champions away, because I feel like that's something that MSU can work around really well, trying to move around. Like, yes, obviously, there's not going to be a lot of champions that can match that movement around the map with the like Aurelion Sol and Kane. But if you are able to, as MSU, to make use of that, impact the bot lane, try and get the most out of there. And we didn't even talk about this, but Jhin Karma was still an okay bot lane. Like, they never really lost quite a lot. Like, Jhin died once, but he was never really behind out of the game. He was never really unimpactful in some sense with the CC, with the ultimate. And the Karma as well, she always found a way to survive for so long with her shields, with her movement speed. So they really found quite a bit of value. And I feel like if you take Aurelion Sol and Kane away, or either of those away, you still have to deal with Jhin and Karma potentially. I would still like to see something different in top lane. I wasn't convinced by the Mordekaiser, but apart from that, the rest work out really, really well.
Absolutely, and we will be throwing it to a short break here now as we head into the game 2 of this best of 3 here tonight. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 here tonight on the Diamond BOL broadcast. Once again, I'm Camcom, joined by TDS MSU, taking a comeback win in Game 1. Very dominant past the 20 minutes, very dominant for Acclivity in the first 20 minutes. Now, Game 2, Acclivity have their backs against the wall. Once again, they do not have their first 4 bans. They get one single ban. What is it going to be, TDS?
I feel like it's probably going to be something else that it's not the Red Cell, because just like we saw last time, I feel like MSU will take it in the third pick, and then
Yeah.
you cannot do anything as Acclivity to ban it away. Maybe the cane you do have a chance to ban it away if MSU doesn't pick it early, which I feel like it's not going to be the case. I feel like MSU should run a pretty similar composition to the previous game. Acclivity on the other side, I think that they're going to still opt for something similar as well, especially in the bot lane. I feel like they can keep the sack. What I'm looking for changes in, it's going to be more than likely top lane and mid lane. Top lane for something much more
Yeah.
carry oriented, and mid lane something for something much more controlled. Maybe Orianna or Syndrome may end up getting picked, or even Victor, that I don't think we saw last time.
Yeah, Big Cat in the top lane, at least for laning phase, he played really well there on the
Yep.
Poppy. He was able to find a lot of solo kills for himself. I was going to say almost solo kills, but no, they were actual legitimate solo kills for
Yep.
himself, just entirely on his own, outplaying MSU's top laner, who is their starter. So starter versus E-subs, sometimes the E-subs do manage to take the win. It's the coin flip of do they go 10-0
Carries
or
up.
0-10. That's always the fun of an E-sub, right? As we're almost to the banning phases here now. Of course, it does take an extended period of time because they aren't actually allowed to ban any champions. So first pick here, Jinx is left on the table. Really, all of the meta 80 carries are left on the table. So it's a pick of the it's a pick of the platter for what MSU want. Most likely a Jinx. That is usually the first pick that teams like to go with.
I wouldn't be surprised,
Or
but
it's
yep.
MSU. I forgot. My bad, guys. My bad. I forgot for half a second. They reminded me. I appreciate it.
So yeah, taking the Aurelion Soul now, I feel like this just means that they are pretty confident against anything that Acclivity does bring, which I'm not against from MSU. This also means that if they pick bot lane here or anything like that, you have opportunity now to counter in almost any position as MSU. Apart from maybe the one that they left at last, it's not going to be countered that easily. Ooh, the Fizz. So going for an assassin instead of something much more controlled, although Ari kind of qualifies as an assassin as well to a certain degree. But Fizz is much more do or die. If you don't
Yeah.
get a kill, if you don't get ahead, you are essentially one of the most useless champions in the game. Funnily enough.
Yes, Fizz
Oh,
is up there on the table with in my books. I call them coin flip champions. That being like Blitzcrank, Evelyn. I forgot my top lane. Fiora is my one for top lane. I think Fizz would be my coin flip champion for the mid lane, like you say. You go 10-0, you're the most useful champion in the game. You go 0-10, you do absolutely nothing in the whole game. So the next sub champion that I expect them to pick would be a Blitzcrank, would be a very exciting matchup, and especially one into an Aurelion Soul. You hook an Aurelion Soul into your team, you can one-shot him. Absolutely.
yeah. He if you are able to hook him and silence him,
Yeah.
the value of Iranian Soul goes down completely. So you may actually be into something with Blitzcrank. Although with Kokmao, I'm not sure if they're going to go for the Blitzcrank just because of how risky it is to not have someone to protect the Kokmao. Especially now that you also went for the face, I feel like you have to 100% go for Karma, for something around those lines, because with Lulu Find a Way, you really need someone to protect the Kokmao,
Ooh.
and it's going to be Seri. Ooh, I like this combo.
Okay.
Nautilus Seri, it's such a fun
It
combo,
is.
and you do have setup for the Seri with the Nautilus, especially against no mobility champions.
Zeri is such an interesting champion because, at least with the games that I've seen her on so far, I haven't seen her on a whole lot of games, but at least the ones that I've seen her on, she's a very flexible team comp champion. She can be played as a kill lane if she is paired with something like a hook champion such as Nautilus, or she could be paired similar to that of a Jinx if she is paired with an enchanter. She can absolutely scale into late game or be a bully lane. It just very much depends on which support she is paired with. Morgana will be the enchanter of choice. I am very glad that they did pick an
Okay.
enchanter with the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, that is a positive already. I would have liked maybe Karma, if I'm honest, just because of the shields. But with the Black Shield, there is the advantage that Kog'Maw will more than likely not get stunned by the Nautilus. The Aurelion Soul, maybe just because of the amount of damage that he will probably be dealing. And you also can kind of play around the Suri because Suri does deal quite a bit of magic damage as
Yeah.
well. So it's also a consideration to take into account and something that may work out as well. But it's still risky. It's two squishy champions down there in the bot lane, and if we see something similar to what happened in the previous game, there may be a chance that MSU just drops everything down bot lane, gets a couple of kills here and there, and then your bot lane is essentially screwed out of the game for 20 minutes.
Now, I don't think that they'll drop everything in the bot lane because they do have a bird on his Aurelion Soul. That is his pick that he's going to play this entire season. You leave it unbanned, he's picking it every single time.
Yeah,
Maybe one day that's going to go unpunished, but not in this series.
maybe.
Not when you can't ban it. And between the 50-50, between the Aurelion Soul and the Kayn bans, Acclivity not having the option to ban Aurelion Soul will end up banning that Kayn. That is their one ban of choice. Any champion that these five players can ban, they do opt to ban that Kayn. I think absolutely after last game, Kayn brought MSU back into the game after their 20-minute deficit, and that gave enough time for a bird to scale on his
Yeah.
Aurelion Soul. It was between the two of them, absolutely were able to carry the game back. So you can ban one, you're still gonna have to play against the other.
Yeah, so I'm okay with the Kane ban. It was what I was expecting, especially with how the kind of big ban phase was going with Lorenzo getting first pick. So it just makes sense that we see the Kane taken away. It's Bolivar potentially for their jungle pick, but the Shen was banned away in the previous game, now getting picked by
Yeah.
MSU. And I really like the Shen because it works really well with the combo of the Radiant Soul going in with the Spirit Bomb and trying to do as much as possible. But I also like it if they go for a jungler that can go in. Something like Xinjiao, maybe something like Hecarim would be great. He's a man, and I feel like it is great against Kog'Maw and Morgana in this game as well. So I feel like it's just setting up for a Hecarim pick here. If I'm honest, I feel like it should be Hecarim, but I'm not sure.
I did just notice actually that MSU
No.
decided to ban just the top side that Acclivity had last game. Their top
Yep,
side was absolutely really good last game. So if you don't have anything else to ban, just ban the two champions that they haven't picked from game one.
that worked out.
Alawi will be the counter pick of choice here for Acclivity's top laner into Shen. I do not know a whole lot about that matchup. Alawi has not picked a whole lot in pro, and especially not competitive play. But Jarvan
Yep.
is a good choice if you don't have Sinzao.
So I would have loved Hecarim way more, but
Yeah.
German does feel a similar position in the sense that he ganks quite well, something that Hecarim takes a little bit longer to do. He quite likes to gank much more on level 6 because that's kind of his biggest power spike. Jarvan can gank a little bit more, and he does allow for your team to go in because of the Cataclysm. Against no mobility champions, it works out great, and it allows for you to not be forced into a bad spot, even if you just depend on your movement speed like Hikarim. The only bad thing about the Jarvan here, especially now with the Laoi pick, is that if you lock the Laoi in place and in a place where your team is close by, you can pretty much just
Yeah.
doom your whole team. But Jarvan does work well with the Aurelion Soul with the Shen. And one thing that is working out for MSU, which I find kind of funny because MSU is much more on this kind of the side of the coin than on the other, is that Acclivity drafted for a really feast or famine composition.
Yeah.
They are really dependent on winning early on and trying to ride the wave towards the late game where Kog'Maw will carry them. Because if not, Illaoi is not the best of late game carries. She can get dumpstered if she doesn't get a lead, and her value in teamfights is quite low, especially against champions that can kite her, like the Radiant Soul, like the Seri, like the Shen. So it's going to be kind of difficult for her. She can dominate lane, and I think that that's what Acclivity will play around, winning topside and destroying so much the topside that Shen really can just depend on the Stand United. But that's kind of how I feel like with Acclivity's composition, because I feel like MSU has a really good plan and will try to play around that.
I am very excited for this game too. I want to go into predictions here shortly before we start spectator delay. My personal prediction, I want to go with a 2-0 for MSU. After game one, they had a really strong comeback. Maybe the early game is something that can be VOD review worked on. It is still
Yeah.
only week 3, so I think that MSU and Acclivity as well can learn a whole lot from game one, and then Acclivity can learn a whole lot from the 20 minutes past game one there as well. So MSU looking really strong, maybe with the momentum lead coming out from game one. And their team comp, I gotta go with a bird. He's got his Aurelion soul, man. He's gonna get it so much this
In
season, and I'm
Aurelion we
so
trust.
excited.
Yep, it's going to be like that. I feel like Aurelion will be such a pivotal once again. And with the build that he went last time, I feel like he's just going to find even much more value. So I just think MSU will be able to take it. I'm trusting in the Aurelion, and I feel like Acclivity. This is just such a risky composition to draft for yourself. You have to be really, really, really good, or simply don't respect at all your opponents. And I feel like it's one of the two. I don't think there's like any between those two.
Yes, and with that, we will be going to a short break here now as we head into game 2 of our best of 3 here tonight. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back onto Summoner's Rift now for our game 2 of our best of 3 here tonight. Once again, MSU taking on Acclivity. Currently, MSU up 1-0 in this best of 3. And I am Camcom again, joined by TDS here tonight.
How does that work out? I know it's there, but it's amazing watching it. Although they fail now because they don't get it done.
It's
But yeah, I'm TDS.
Bima! Oh my gosh, it's Bima! Let's go!
But isn't that out this patch or was it?
No, that was in the
No,
previous round
that
of
was previous.
V-Skins.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
V-Skins are just so perfect.
I'm not against them, but at the same time, I just eh. It's cute, but I like others more. It's that kind of thing. It's that kind of thing where you just like other skins more.
Fair enough. It is not everyone's cup of tea, I guess, is how you could put it, but I don't know. Anything cute, I'll absolutely buy. Unfortunately, I don't play any of the V-Skin chips, so not really anything. If anything, I would learn Malzahar for the B-Skin.
B Sahar.
Yes, I think that is the only one that I
B
would put
Sahar.
actual time into learning just for
Wait,
this game.
Oriana got one, right?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe I should get one. I like playing Oriana. Okay, that's the only one I'll think about.
They only release 4 each time, so it's like you hope that it's one of your champions. I think the only role
Yeah.
that doesn't have one yet is jungle. I can't think of a jungle champion that has one.
Nunu.
Nunu has. Yep, that's right. Okay, I don't know how I forgot that one.
I
Nunu is my main.
don't know
You
how
know.
I knew that, but okay, I'll take that. I just watch each time a new skin comes out, I watch them on Instagram, and that's it.
That would
That's
do
how I
it.
know about them.
They just get posted in so many servers when they get released. So it's hard to miss them. Honestly, it's harder to
Yeah.
not know what they are than to know what they are.
Yeah, the problem is that I feel like with how easy it is to get to see them, it's also easy to just get bamboozled by someone posting that that skin is going to come out and it's not actually true. So I just
Also,
don't trust people anymore.
yeah, also very true. As we are watching a game of League of Legends, there is only one B skin in
True.
this game, so can't be talking too much about them here. Very even across the board, not having any level 2 shenanigans that we had in game 1 here quite yet.
Sadly, I would have loved to
Oh
see a
no,
level.
I
Well,
spoke too
we had
soon. Oh
one.
god.
Oh,
Maybe? Oh, no. Okay. He's fine. Trade
it's worded.
flashes. It's all good.
Yeah, it is worth it. So they were better prepared for that play, and that means that okay, maybe mid lane we see a play. Bolivar is coming towards there.
Does
Okay, he's fine.
not look like anything will be coming out. Both the jugglers will be running into each other here at the bottom scuttle. Full prio for the MSU bot side lanes here, so really trading flashes. He is going to have to trade the scuttle in the bot side. He is not going to be allowed to walk up to it here whatsoever, and I am starting to learn a little bit why False has decided to pick the Fizz here. I think it is, in theory, supposed to be a vacuum answer to the Aurelion Soul, as you can get on top of him, you can dodge out of the stars with the E on Fizz, of course, but it's still very hard if you're not comfortable on the champion, and a bird
Yeah.
is absolutely going to know this matchup, probably better than you will.
Well, I feel like he probably does. At the same time, I'm not sure how many matchups does
Yeah.
he get against a lot of champions playing Aurelion Soul. It's probably not going to be that much, if I'm honest. But I do think that he must know what to do here. Oh, wait.
Potential gank
Huh.
up here on the top side, of course, very
Can he
similar
bait
to last game. A whole lot of fighting between Void and Big Cat. That is no different from game 1. It doesn't matter what champions you pick, they will absolutely be fighting each other a whole lot between this top lane, as it will about to be a 2v2. Both of the jugglers coming in, both of them burning their flashes here as well for an engage, but trading flashes is going to be the first one to fall. Void picking up the first blood here in this game 1. Big Cat still sitting at 3 quarters of his HP. I don't think there is a big enough wave to dive this Alawi quite yet, especially with 5 tentacles stacked underneath her tower.
Yeah, I don't think they will dive, but important to note, both flashes blown out of both the jungler and the top lane from Acclivity. And this is something that I failed to point out thanks to the B talk. That's on me. But the Ignite, Boyd is taking Ignite on top lane, which means that his kill pressure on that lane is going to be higher than Big Cat. It's comparable to what we had in the previous game, right? Where Puppy was taking the Ignite instead of the teleport. So the Mordekaiser had to play a little bit more careful. the Shen will not have the problem of the Poppy, where the Poppy will not be able to impact lanes thanks to the Stand United. And with the Ignite, his skill pressure is going to be higher. So important to have that in mind wherever there's going to be a fight between the two of them. Oh,
Nice hook plus Black Shield there in the bot lane. That is why, of course, why
quick
you do
reactions.
pick the Morgana as a vacuum answer to the Nautilus, at least a little bit. Trombone taking quite a large chunk there
Oh
from
no, Black
the
Shield
B
up.
Kog'Maw, but it is not going to matter if you are able to pick out the Kog'Maw. You just one-shot the poor B Trombone will fall as well, but he was able to save it with his Flash Sausage. Gonna not be allowed to hook
Oh,
out. Nicely blocked there by Vizzy. Walking in the only path that he could have possibly tried to hook out. 2 quick kills picked up there in the bot lane for Acclivity. Only 1 traded for MSU.
yeah, but I feel important how that kill happened because it shows us that even if the Black Shield is used once to stop the engage from the Nautilus, the second time it's not going to be up. So you can. Oh wait,
Oh, flash taunt,
no
very
flash.
nicely done there onto Big Cat. He didn't even have
Ouch.
time to press the R key. Very unfortunate for him. And even if he did, without any tentacles stacked up around him, it would do very little to minimal damage right now.
Yep. But at least look at the bright side. The bright side for Big Cat. He didn't use teleport, so
Yeah.
he will be able to come back into lane. Not going to lose that much. But great gank timing by Kane. He gets a lot of value. And this is what we talked about with the Jarvan. Is that he does have avenues into ganking earlier than Hecarim, that was the champion that I wanted to see him play. And it does mean that if he can get onto the lane earlier, he can set up much more easily for some of these champions. Now, even stealing away the jungle from the Bolivar, Bolivar is doing the dragon, which means that there's not going to be much chance for him. Oh,
Yeah, trading flashes. So hold that thought. Channel coming down here in
Stand
the
United.
bot lane. Trombone, unfortunately, not quite level 6 on the Zeri. So Stand United burn just to make sure that there is no dive. But anyways, trading flashes. He did trade that first dragon for Big Cat's TP plus death plus his own red buff. So he got at least one thing off of it.
Plus 10 United as well. So
Yeah.
overall, not a bad trade, I feel like. And you also are now making the Shen lose quite a bit in top lane because the Jarvan is the one that has to respond. Even if he's able to get something here, which I don't think so. Yeah, he's getting quite damaged.
Kane, not playing Kane anymore, so it is a little more strange. Flash coming up from Sausage here in the bot lane onto Missing Link. He might be able to trade him back
Trombone.
around with this passive. Trombone needs to heal up off of something. Instead, will burn his own Flash Vizzy. Unfortunately, still sitting level 5 here on the Morgana. Nice hook
Oh, the
back
hook.
for the re-engage onto Vizzy. One more auto attack will find
Oh,
him
he got
with
it.
the extended their auto attack onto him. He will be able to find it, trading flashes, ulting onto someone that isn't even there anymore. Trombone, of course, playing a season 12 champion. He can dash over walls for as long as he pleases. Did have to burn the flash to find the 2 kills for himself, though.
Yeah, Trading Flashes is just playing a season 10 champion, if I'm not wrong. So not as much
Oh,
dashes,
no.
just one less. Yeah, just one less. He cannot follow up on the kill. But 2 for nothing in the bot lane. Great engage by Sausage McMuffin. And this is still something that we talked about in the draft, like in this kind of matchup. Even though Kog'Maw and Morgana may have the Black Shield to defend some things, it doesn't matter if you get immediately engaged on, and the Kog'Maw doesn't have flash. Oh, good damage.
Yeah, once again, very nice damage up here in the top lane. First, Rift Herald is started up by Kane. I think it will just be secure. Trading flashes not really in any position to go for a steal. A bird could be caught out here. False does have that Fizz ultimate if he wants to try and look for a pick, but is very scary. 3v3 up here on the top side. Fizz ult does land onto Kane, but falls
the exhaust.
immediately exhausted, so it doesn't even do any damage. Fishing for a Cataclysm, unfortunately not
Oh,
going to be able
Kog is
to
here.
find the target. 5v4 for Rift Herald. That is already dead in the top river. Sausage going to be the first member to fall here from MSU. No kills
River
found
has a
onto
flash, I
Acclivity
think.
here quite yet, and I think it is just going to be a full disengage. Bird just forced to burn that flash on the backside of the fight. Meanwhile, bot side Trombone picking up almost 1 or 2 plates for himself down here as well.
Yeah, potentially 2, because there's still quite a few members stuck, still
no.
left in top lane. She should be fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there shouldn't be much. But with the Herald collected as well, there's going to be quite a lot of gold going into the pockets of the side of MSU. Even if Shen dies here, there's the plates getting collected by the Seri. And Jarvan is bot side as well. So if the Kog'Maw is not careful, yeah,
Oh, Kane kind of going in melee range with a Kog'Maw.
I
Has
think he's
that
dead.
Cataclysm, but he just does not have enough damage to out-damage a Kog'Maw all on his own.
Oh,
Trombone forced to use
Trombone.
the heal as well to turn it back around 1-0. Trombone almost having enough damage with
Big
the
Cat.
passive to find a little extra kill. Big Cat, one more on attack is going to find it. Void not having flash, not having taunt to make it forward, has to take a couple of tower
He's
shots.
fine, yeah.
Finally gets a taunt up with the last auto attack. Will secure his own solo kill up in the top lane.
Yeah, the only bad thing is that with the death of the Jarvan, although Void may be dead in top side as well, but
Bird could
Bird.
be dead here in the mid lane. Fizzle does land onto
Oh.
him, and with the vacuum counter answer,
Outplay.
False gets the solo kill. First one of the series, first one of this game here as well for himself on the Fizz. Void, no flash, no taunt, nowhere
Void is
left to
fine.
run. Can he make it away from trading flashes? And
He is.
somehow, I don't know how. The presence of a blast cone scared trading flashes away.
Yeah, maybe even just the thought of the Jarvan coming in. But yeah, overall, great escape by Void. Yes, a bird dies, and we're seeing the potential from the Fist. So, like we talked about, it's all or nothing on him getting a kill and trying to make the most out of the kill. But he gets the kill. No respect by a bird, no exhaust either, which means that it's easier for the Fist to get the kill. And even in bad situations where Acclivity was looking kind of in a rough spot, they are getting the kills. They are able to get the Kog'Maw kill as well, even if he died. But the Herald is still up. I'm pretty sure they are going to use it soon enough. And this bot lane turret is also close to dying as well. Dragon also spawning in 15 seconds.
Hextech Dragon will be on the map here in just a couple of seconds. Full bot side prio currently for MSU, but 4 members of Acclivity are walking down here. First, Rift Herald is dropped here for some extra plates. This would also be the first tower taken in the mid lane if they are able to secure it. Dragon sitting here
like the
on the
plate.
map still. No one is turning an eye to it here quite yet. I think the bot lane now of MSU is starting it just as I say that. Yep. There they are. First Dragon now for MSU, tying up the Dragon score 1-1.
Yeah, and importantly, making it so that the soul is not a win condition just so early for the side of Acclivity, which I think would have been something that they can play for, especially come mid-game, where the Fizz, De La Hoy, and the Bolivar would have been super strong. But as of now, it means the game is going to go a little bit further, longer, and that means that the gold advantages that maybe Acclivity could have gotten, which realistically they don't have, they are behind in gold, is not going to be that impactful. Oh,
Nice
Oh,
hook
nice hook.
landed onto
Nice
missing
back shield.
Link, but Sausage not able to actually CC him, will be forced to flash away.
this Kog'Maw hurts.
Missing Link, not even one item quite yet on the Kog'Maw, and still no one is able to match him in damage. You have to CC him, which is made twice as hard with the black shield right there, as you can see. First tower up here, the top side is about to fall. Actually, no, I thought it was about to fall. No, it still has 3 plates on it for now, but 3 members are being committed here by Acclivity. They really want to take this outer tower.
Yeah, they really want to get it, and I feel it has to do
Bot
with
lane fight,
opening up the
Stand
map.
United
Oh,
coming out. Missing Link will have the hook and taunt on
bye-bye,
top
yeah.
of him. Straight onto there. Nowhere left to run for the bot side. 2 easy
Oh.
kills. +1 back for Acclivity.
Hey, they get the value. They get the kill back, so maybe it's good enough, but it's a Morgana that actually gets it, so not comparable. Great play by Void, taking
Yeah.
advantage of the overcommitment by the bot lane from Acclivity, because it was the Kog'Maw on the Morgana that were walking forward to force that fight. The Seri and the Nautilus were both back in a safe position, so as soon as they walk too far forward, the engage comes in. Great ultimate once again by the Shen. They get a lot of value out of that, and even if they lose this top lane turret, which I feel like was going to be lost anyway because there were 3 champions on top side, they get value out in bot lane, they get a turret, and are putting themselves easily in the lead right now. Ooh, nice
Potential
stun.
1v1 here in the mid lane, but with Vissy hiding in the side brush might not actually
This is
be
not a
1v1.
1v1.
False Degenerate not having a whole lot of mana though, so he really
BC,
does not
go.
want to take this fight. Black Shield does absolutely nothing against an
She's
Aurelion,
dead, I
so
think.
she is just going to be dead. False Degenerate could be following up here as well, but still missing Link on the BMO. You
Bird is fine, I
cannot
feel.
match him. You cannot match the sheer power of the bees. The bird gonna be forced to flash away. Missing Link will be knocked up. Is he able to make it out of the Cataclysm? The answer is, of course, no.
No, 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 no. Oh, I thought he was going to run into
That
the
was a little
Radiant Soul
close.
that was backing there. Okay, it's fine. But with that, 2 kills easily collected by a bird. Oh, maybe 3. Yeah. So well, but a bird didn't get a part in this. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's 2 kills with a bird being a part of the kills, and then a kill on top lane once again. And this is kind of what we saw in the previous game as well. Come mid game, the calls by the side of MSU begin having more impact. They know what they need to do. They look for picks on the other side of the map, and the positioning from Acclivity is questionable. They put themselves into spots where it's easier for MSU to collect the kills, and they are put behind thanks to that. What was a, I feel, 4,000 gold lead previously is now a 6,000 gold lead, and it's going to grow even higher thanks to this hero that is getting collected and the dragon that is going to be fought, I feel like, in 1 minute 30. Oh, wait.
A bird could be caught out here. 3 members on top of him. And finally, Morgana kill will connect. Exhaust dropped onto Trading Flash with the Black Shield on him as well. It will not actually negate any damage or even slow him. A bird with the 30-second death timer on his head now. He will still be up plenty enough in time for the next dragon. This is second dragon for both teams. Mountain Soul this game is very, very powerful.
Yeah, both teams would love to have that Mountain Soul, and particularly I feel like much more so for Acclivity for the Cogmouth. Oh!
Flash coming in here in the mid lane.
Trombone.
Trombone could be caught out. Stand United taking
Is he
quite
still
a
alive?
hot minute to a channel, and somehow with the shielding from Shen, Boyd is able to turn it back around, now having a double kill for himself. Unfortunately, Trombone did fall in the process. Missing lane. Flash ulted, nowhere left to run for the poor B. He will fall as well. 20 seconds now for the next dragon. Both potentially fishing for a ultimate before he falls here, but trapped in the Cataclysm, going to buy a couple more seconds. Big Cat flashing in with the ultimate. Not quite enough damage to actually find any kills, but with a lot of zoning, is able to buy False to generate enough time to make it out with his life, donating his own in the process.
Yeah, really well played by MSU, and we didn't see any value out of the face in that fight.
Yeah.
The face tried to come in and assassinate, but everyone just stopped him from achieving anything. He was a fish that could realistically achieve nothing. He was a fish out of water, essentially. Oh, wait.
A bird could be caught out here. Black Shield does nothing against him still once again, but missing like so much damage on the cog, but now has 1.5 items. Shield bow for him as well gives him a lot of extra survivability in this team fights. And it looked like a fight going in the favor of MSU, but Dragon is actually being started up here by Acclivity TP coming in here as well. K does not have Smite, does not have Flash, and does not have Cataclysm. He is going to be forced to run away. Objective bounty plus second Dragon now being picked up by Acclivity, and plus a dive down here in the bot lane, False Degenerate. Making sure that we remember this is still a 50-50 champion. He still can make it useful at some points. Trombone jumping over that wall. He's able to pick up 1 kill onto Fizzy, jumping back over the same wall and makes it out alive.
200 years. Right there, surviving alone by herself. The server jumps over the wall and she's fine. Now, like you were pointing out, MSU had won the team fight previously, or the fight previously. I'm not sure if it was a team fight, but they won the previous fight. They were walking towards getting the turret, but that overcommitment for the turret, especially with a herald. You had a herald. You don't need to overcommit so hard for that turret. They walk too far forward. They get punished, and a bird, even though he can deal quite a bit of damage, you're an Irradiant Soul. If you get stunned, you're dead. And he was immediately locked into place with a Dark Bind. Yeah, Dark Binding, I think it's called. And he died immediately. So really nice punishment by Acclivity, and using also their teleport advantage. Something that the side of MSU doesn't have. Even if they have the Stand United, they need someone to be there to be able to use the Stand United. So not getting any value of that, getting punished, and the first Mountain Dragon going in the favor of Acclivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And a little bit of a different build here for a bird in game 2. He has opted for that crown now instead, but still has the Rylai's. That is the one doing the most damage, potentially with that same the Winter's Approach, I think is what it's called, the tank tier item. He doesn't even have tier in
Yeah.
this game, so I don't think he is going with that same tank Aurelion Sol that he had in game 1. This time going for a much higher damage, but still a little bit of survivability, of course, between those
I'm quite
two
surprised with
items that
that,
he
honestly.
still currently has. And we could have a
Oh, dark
teammate here in
binding.
the mid lane. No objectives to be fighting over here whatsoever. Sausage buying a whole lot of time here in the back line.
Oh,
Boston Jenner with
Sausage.
that exhaust is not going to be able to find any assassinations whatsoever. It's a double kill right now for Trombone. He's going to look to make it a triple kill. Potential penta on the table for Trombone. Nope. Okay, never mind. Bird, he stole it. You know
Yeah.
what? Bird, congratulations. You stole the triple kill. I was excited for Trombone.
Trombone can call him a bird brain for stealing his potential penta. But what they cannot say is that that fight wasn't really well played by the side of MSU. Great engage, great re-engage, because it was actually started by Acclivity, if I'm not wrong, with a dark binding onto the Jarvan. But Stand United gets value, Sausage McMuffin played that so well, created so much space, forced the Kog'Maw into such a bad spot, which forces the Kog'Maw to run away, to try and survive for as long as he can. And the backline is completely safe. The Fizz doesn't achieve anything
Yeah.
once again. The Bolivar is trying to get the stun down to get any value, but he's tanky. He does survive quite a bit, but he doesn't deal enough damage to kill one of those champions. And one of the things that okay, I'm going to talk about what I just saw later, but one of the things that the side of MSU does have is great frontline that can survive for so long, and they get a complete value out of that. Now, I'm not sure what the value out of the demonic embrace from the Shen is, but there must be, right? There has to be something there that I don't know.
Yeah, I will wait to see how this one goes. You know, I wasn't fully sold on the Winter's Approach. Again, I'm pretty sure that's the item name, I'm not 100%, but pretty sure that is the item for Bird that he built last game. I wasn't sold on it.
Yeah.
They won, so therefore I am totally sold on it. That means it wins 100% of the games that I have seen it built so far. Current
See,
gold lead.
I'm not of that mindset, but at the
Ah,
same time, I do think that it's hard to argue when someone wins, right?
1v1 up here in the top side, but Void with
Demonic
his
embrace value.
demonic embrace is able to survive the 1v1. Who would have thought?
I feel like he does that even without that, but yeah, who would have guessed? Oh, no.
Fissy, nice Q landed there onto Sausage. Unfortunately, that is one of the tanks here for MSU's comp, so not going to really find any real damage, just some nice CC landed.
Yeah, the problem with that is that it was a teleport play. The Ilaoi comes from behind, doesn't get anything, and this just means that for the dragon, unless, okay, Sausage, no. What?
Oh no, trading flash is chucked out real low weight here with the black shield on top of him. He is
Oh,
not gonna be able to
no.
CC, but he does still die. Double kill here once again for Trombone. Big cast next step here on the table, running away,
Trombone is
flashing
too
away,
fast.
but you can't run away from a Zeri triple kill now for Trombone on the table. This could
Is
be the
it now?
pentakill. This could finally be the pentakill that Trombone has been
Steal
waiting
it.
so patiently for this
Steal
whole
it.
series. Unfortunately, he still cannot outdamage the B-Maw. B-Maw gets the B skin buff. You cannot kill him. Pentakill not allowed once again. He has to be happy with the triple kill plus 2 inhibitors, which, you know, I'm not.
He's an AD carry player. I feel like he's never happy with a triple kill. it's just how things work out. So
We want pentas.
yeah, it's just how things work out. The AD carries tend to be really greedy with that. But he gets a triple, like you're pointing out, so it's not that bad. I do want to say though that that fight looked so bad for MSU at the start with how Sausage McMuffin died, but it didn't matter. The engage onto the Seri, once again, you get no value to against that because the Fizz barely does anything to impact the backline, and the Bolivar doesn't have damage. He's going full tank. Like, he can get on top of the Seri, but Seri is quite tanky with the build that she's currently running, and she also gets an extra buff with the Stand United shield, so it's not like you can easily kill her. So any attempts from Acclivity simply fall short on damage to be able to actually accomplish something onto the Seri. The Shen, the Fizz, and the Bolivar, even the Ilaoi need to get on top of her to even be able to threaten the Seri, and even then, I find it kind of hard to think that she's going to die from that.
I mean, really, both of these AD carries, right? You have to find some sort of CC onto them to shut them down. If you
Yeah,
let either one of them live for too long without CC on them, then yes, they absolutely can run around, kite you out the whole fight, and even after their death, right? Missing Link can still do quite a bit of damage there with that Kog'Maw passive. Potential pick here on the bot lane onto Void, but of course, he's got taunts. He's got fast speedies. He will be perfectly fine. Demonic Embrace Shen, everyone.
I
This
don't.
is not what I was
Can't.
expecting to watch tonight, but it is going great for them.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I've ever gone into a game expecting to see a demonic embrace Shen. But hey, it's something. It's there. It's there.
It's
Maybe it works
working.
out. Yeah, maybe it does. Oh, the engage. This is
Engage bound
huge.
onto Trombone. That is the CC that they needed. That is the
Yeah,
shutdown they needed. 350 picked up here by Busy Big Cat, picking up that kill onto
what about the base?
Sausage as well. Meanwhile, your base. Where are you to contest your Nexus Towers? No Nexus Towers were actually going to fall, and Kane could be picked out here as well. He's trying to flash
Kane is
over
dead,
the
I
wall,
think.
but without the flash available and using the flag and drag slightly too early will fall, and detrimental to him. Missing Link is the one picking up that kill for himself as well.
Yeah, so base defended for the first attempt, really nicely done. And what we needed to see finally happened.
Yes.
Fizz doing something. He gets the ultimate onto the Seri. Huge pickup. The Seri doesn't have flash or heal. She didn't even dash away, which means that she's simply going to accept her fate at that point. And first kill, the one of the most important kills to get, because she's going to be one of the main forces to try and threaten the base. If the Seri is dead, it's going to be really hard for MSU to try and force opening up the base or trying to threaten the base. So it's a really important pickup, and this also means that time is bought for Acclivity. The Kog'Maw is slowly but surely getting there. He has 3 items.
Yes.
He's farming even more. So you're actually getting something really important with that Seri kill.
3 items is the big power point, or big power spike even for the Cogman. He got there pretty fast with those 2 inhibitors being
Yeah.
taken. That is a lot of extra gold and XP being funneled straight into his little bee mouth, I guess you could say. I don't know how that really works, but that's where all the gold went, is straight
Do
to
bees
him.
have mouth? That's the actual question we're going to need to be
Yeah,
answered with.
that was what I was thinking. I was like, there's no way that they don't, but 3 item Kog'Maw to a 4.5
Oh,
item Zeri is still a pretty large gold and item deficit there. Even on Dragons, one Baron has gone in the favor of MSU, and this could definitely look to be the second.
yeah. Can they can they do this without being threatened
Bird is
threatened
not here quite
by
yet.
the Bolivar? Oh, Bird, where did he go? Whoa, Bird is actually doing something that he did in the previous series, trying to find an angle for the Q. But okay, Elo is
He
not here yet.
has the crown still available. That will
Oh
be the
no,
crown popped. He's going to be picked out by that Morgana Q,
that
unfortunately.
is so much
Not
damage.
going to be doing a whole lot of damage. False actually ulting the clone of Alawi.
Yo,
So that
I'm not
is
sure about
going
that
to be
either.
losing quite a large cooldown, unfortunately, there with the Fizz ultimate. The rest of the team of MSU still trying to focus down this Baron. Unfortunately, without Bird, they are
Bird.
missing a lot of damage with that exhaust on the False Degenerate. Gonna go gold. Does he find the kill? We're back to the team fight in the jungle here with the river falls forward. He will finally fall.
Oh
Meanwhile,
no,
the rest
Kokomo's dead.
of Acclivity will fall in suit. Nice Alawi
Oh,
coming
Big
in. That
Cat.
does quite a lot of
Big
damage. He
Cat.
has a lot
Ooh.
of these tentacles still stacked up. Trading flashes, flashing back in, will not find any kills to be had. Busy, the last member standing now for Acclivity. He goes golden, buying a little bit of time. He flashes
Oh,
as
nice.
well with the final retreat. Ace picked up now for MSU, and I think that's going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, they are pushing into the inhibitors, pushing into the base, potentially pushing into the Nexus, and a huge start that doesn't work for nothing. But the bait from a bird to get the Fizz into such a bad spot ended up working out. And I think that a lot of bad things happened in that fight for Acclivity to, yeah, they ended up surrendering. For Acclivity to end up losing. Crucially for me, the Fizz ultimate and the Fizz ultimate and the use of the Kog'Maw flash and try and escape tools, because Kog'Maw flashes, he gets engaged on, but he flashes into the wall and then heals to try and survive, but doesn't achieve much. And then the Fizz also, by trying to assassinate the Aurelion Soul from the bird, he fails doing that because he doesn't have ultimate enough damage. And when the exhaust comes in, he simply cannot finish out the kill. Still, a bird survived for so long. He gets the stand united as well. And even without stand united, the side of MSU have enough mobility and survivability to just kite around the team fight and survive for so long. And like we pointed out, Kog'Maw, yes, he has three items, but if he gets focused on, if he
Yeah.
gets CC'd out, he dies. That's it. It doesn't matter. He's dead. And that's why MSU had such an easy time winning that last fight.
Yeah, you focus down the right target, which was either AD carry in that game, and
Yep.
you can absolutely just turn the team fight around. Fizz, he spent so many resources trying to kill Bird on the Aurelion Soul. And then Zeri just wrecked the backline. Like, yes, you can kill the Aurelion Soul. Yes, he was the important member in game 1, but in game 2, it was a lot more gold funneled onto Zeri. Now,
Yeah.
quickly here, I want to look towards the other series that are happening here as well tonight.
Ooh.
Currently, WLS versus ISU are still in their game 1. WLS did take their game 1 win against ISU. CB Diamond versus VBU. CB has taken the series 2-0 against VBU. Currently, Gothboy and Lotus. This is the interesting one. Lotus took game 1. Gothboy took game 2. They are now heading into their game 3 for tonight. This series, of course, was a 2-0 for MSU. Any final closing thoughts here for tonight, TDS?
Good job by MSU. It's unlucky for by Acclivity that they didn't have the bans, because I feel like it actually impacted quite a lot
It
of
did.
what happened in game, like that Aurelion Soul pick, for example. But I feel like even with that, the early game from Acclivity was quite nice to see. And if they can get something consistent going on, there's something for them to work on. MSU, they have really nice calls in the mid game, and they need to begin getting much more stable in the early game, because I feel like that was something that they took advantage on in this game, and that can be something that the other teams are may look forward to take advantage of. And as a final thoughts as well, I hope the other teams don't mess up. I won my perfect week in predictions.
Yes. Hopefully Lotus wins their game 3 so that we can all be perfect on our predictions
Yep.
for that one there. But that will be the end of our stream here tonight. Thank you all for watching. I believe the game is still going on stream 1. Of course, they are streaming that ISU versus WLS game 2 is still going on. So go catch that one on BOL stream main. But that will be the end of us for BOL stream 2. Thank you all for watching, and catch you back here tomorrow for our Platinum League.